February the 6th, 2016. Guys, I got something I want you to check out. These images are NASA radar images. They're saying that this was taken at 75,000 miles from our planet. Now remember, our International Space Station is just 250 miles above us. They're saying this at 75,000 miles. Our geosynchronous satellites, such as our DirecTV, GPS, things like that, are 2,400 miles. Again, 75,000 miles. The reason I'm emphasizing that is because of the size of this. Now, they got more than just this one image, and we're going to take a look at it. They have classified this as a near-Earth object. These images came in 2013, but as they did the ARC data span on it, and now we're getting clearer images, they said it had an orbit around our sun of 10.5 months, less than the Earth's 12 months. Take a look at this. And I guess not really knowing how to classify it or not wanting to release the true classification, they're calling it a near-Earth object asteroid. Now, I've seen a bunch of asteroids in my day, and you've seen them in the last one, and I'll show you a couple of images of it. Was the Halloween asteroid from last year. They're big round rocks. They don't look like this. Again, at 75,000 miles is what they're saying, and it was speeding away at thousands of miles per hour in the last few images that we see. Again, I'd like your input on what you think this is. It's interesting because that was a very interesting day in the history of our planet. As these images were being taken, they were looking for asteroid 2012 DA14 when they caught this. They have tried to put it under the same classification, but it meets none of the, or matches none of the other images that we saw that day. But these were coming in, and that's how they tried to classify it. But on that day, the Russian meteorite came in and did all that damage there. Thousands of buildings were damaged. The shock wave was 500 kilotons of pressure. That's how they estimate it. Now look at this. One of the last images is this thing spins and tilts. It looks very modular. It looks like either one of the Chinese space stations they planned or already have up on the right, or the International Space Station that you see in the bottom left of this image. Very modular design. It is not an asteroid. I don't care what anybody says. But the space station is 250 miles above us. They're saying this is 75,000 miles above us as they were taking these pictures. Again, that day, they were trying to focus in on 2012 DA14. Now, this is what an asteroid looks like in radar imaging from NASA. This is the Halloween asteroid that we saw last Halloween, October 31st. Remember, it looked like the skull. That's the type imaging that you can get. That's not what we're seeing in the other images. Another important piece of information, as this object came close to our planet, it came within 17,000 miles. That's inside the geostationary ring, that, like I said, DirecTV, and that bent the orbit. In other words, you saw that curve, and they're saying it was because of the gravity of the planet. So as they used the data arc span, guys, of a 10.5 month orbit around our sun, the last time they spotted it, which was in these images, it curved it. The gravity decreased the curve. They have not recovered that object since. But you're looking at events that happened within an hour of those first images. I'm not saying they're related, but they were watching for 2012 DA14. Remember when this happened? Now, they said DA1214 came in over the South Pacific Ocean at 17,000 miles close approach. And then, again, less than an hour later, we see this happen. It fragmented. A 20-foot piece went into the lake there that was frozen over. They pulled it out. It was weighed about 16,000 pounds. But, again, that was just a section of it. The impact was not the problem. It created an explosion in the atmosphere of 500 kiloton. It damaged 17,000 buildings. I'm talking about some of them it blew the second story off of. Massive big shop doors, windows, big glass panes were blown in. Office buildings were affected. People were injured. 500 kilotons. Guys, the two bombs that over Japan, the largest one was 20 kilotons. The smallest one was 15 kilotons. Much more powerful than that from a 20-meter rock. And TX-68 that we're watching is 3 times this size. I have new information on that. NASA's finally starting to crunch the numbers, and now they're saying that it's going to come even closer than what I had predicted. They're saying at about 9,000 miles, possibly. And a 3 times larger rock than what we're dealing with here. I want to stop this here and let you listen to the rest of this video, just hear the audio of the impact of this. It's a heads up. I'd like to also get your opinion on what you saw in the first part of this video. It is not an asteroid. Heads up, be safe.
Ебать! Нихуя! Блять, война нахуй! Что за блять?
Горел там, да?
А вот тут?
Ну.
Они блядь!
Цифра 2823.
Это обращение в нашу справочную службу, которые зафиксированы за январь месяц.
Где-то